If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every single day at 9:30 p.m. EST, and turns out most of you guys aren't subscribed yet, so what are you waiting for? I'm a pretty small channel, so I do also pay a lot of attention to comments and likes, so let me know what type of content you guys want to see. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be looking at a pretty sweet game of Storybook Brawl. Again, this is on the previous patch, as I just haven't really been playing that much with the end of the semester and the holidays, but I've got a lot of sweet games to showcase on the old patch too, and this game is no exception. So we are Wonder Waddling, and we're going to be starting off with a Wizard's Familiar, which I just love to pick up early as Wonder Waddle because it means that we can double it pretty easily, and that winds up just being a pretty powerful unit that can carry you into the late game. So we're going to Shrink Spell, and then we are going to lock. We do lock one more animal here and a baby dragon. So Wonder Waddle stuff. Feel like I haven't put out a Wonder Waddle video in a second here. Let me just take a look. I guess I haven't. Yeah, I've recorded some, or I have some sweet Wonder Waddle games. I just haven't recorded any of them for YouTube just because none of them were like, I feel like the bar is that much higher on Wonder Waddle. Like you're hat balling or you're doing some sweet stuff, but you can go even farther with Wonder Waddle because he is so powerful. An interesting decision point here to make. Do I want to take the Kitty Cut Purse, or do I just want to cast the Sugar and Spice? Could also do both and then roll if I feel like that is better than the Black Cat. But I am going to go for the Sugar and Spice here. And then I'm actually just going to go for the Tiny just because it's the biggest unit, ironically, here. So this seems good. Could backline the Sherwood Sure Shot so that way Baby Dragon gets to attack first and take out something in the backline, but I also just like putting it in the front line. Then it is 7 out of 8% to not get attacked, or 7 out of 8 chances to not get attacked, and looks like it does get sniped there, but we're still strong enough that we are able to win this combat just on the strength of our units alone. So that is good. Have the option to pick up a trash can here. I don't typically like to buy experience on Wonder Waddle because we are then not able to make as much use of the hero power. So generally tend to avoid XP, but we are going to go ahead and pick up the Wizard's Familiar, and then I guess I just buy an Earthquake, give my Wizard's Familiar +2/+2. No, you know what? Yeah, Fanny does look pretty good here. Okay, I like that. And then here I will backline the Sherwood Sure Shot. I learned my lesson of it getting sniped on the previous combat, and then I will just also move the Wizard's Familiar backline as well. There's definitely some consideration here for locking the Donkey. It's a little bit more awkward now that I've picked up these Rune Stones because it means the next thing that I want to upgrade really would be a level 2 cost animal because the level 4 treasures aren't nearly as powerful. Obviously also 3 Blind Mice would be a good one to upgrade here now as well. We snipe the Polywoggle, and it doesn't matter that I moved my Sherwood Sure Shot to the back line. It's going to get sniped as well, so that's pretty annoying, and we're going to give my opponent a Polywoggle Slay. But you know what? We move out of this combat unscathed, so I guess I have to just be happy enough about that. Take a Golden Chicken, a Donkey, and then cast another Earthquake, or not another Earthquake. We never cast that initial Earthquake, so we'll cast that now, give Wizard's Familiar +2/+2. And I think we've got a pretty strong board here now. Looking good. Next thing that we definitely want to do is upgrade this chicken. If we upgrade the chicken, that's always really good on Wonder Waddle because then you can sell it for 4 and it's super cheap, and then we'll get a tier 3 treasure. So that is definitely the next unit that we want to be purchasing, and maybe we can get a good tier 3 treasure to go along with our Wizard's Familiar. Something that has the word spell on it is something that we will be looking for here now. That also is a better play to put the supported units on the left side of the support branch there. So that way they're more likely to get use before the support winds up dying. It doesn't wind up being a huge deal. We do give my opponent a free kitty cut purse there from earthquaking on the donkey, but luckily we're also able to take the donkey out. So you know what? I'll take it here. My opponent's going to get some sheep, though, and these are looking pretty good, but luckily we're going to get some nice triggers on our donkey, too, and this is actually going to be enough for us to win the combat, and win the combat with some gold to spare. So donkey gave us a pig, and that is going to give us 9 gold going into this round, so pretty lucky. Magic research looking pretty good. I'm definitely going to want to pick up this stag as well. That's going to give us additional options to just Wonder Waddle, and I will throw a spell onto my Wizard's Familiar, give ourselves a 9/9. We find the chicken that we were looking for. We also find a Spell Weaver, which could be good if we wind up going in this spelly direction. And Haunted Helm seems okay, as does Power Orb. I think that Power Orb is probably the pickup here just because we don't have something that we particularly want to use with Haunted Helm. Haunted Helm is so awkward in that it doesn't really work with Donkey, because if your Donkey attacks and it's in the first spot, then you don't have any... well, that's definitely a lock. If your donkey attacks and it's in the first slot, you don't have anywhere to spawn stuff. That's what I'm getting at. I'm going to sell the fanny just to pick up one of these things because I don't want to waste all of the gold that we have. But honestly, this entire shop looks good. I don't know. It looks like I am just saying that I will pick up the Spellweaver plus the pig plus the spinning gold next turn. But all of this looks pretty good, so it's tough to not pick it all up. Really good hit there for my baby dragon to kill the hippocampus before the black cats die. So that is pretty lucky here that they just picked up that hippocampus now. And we are looking pretty strong with these ranged units being buffed by the stag. So this will be another win, and we are at 40. So a really, really good showing here. And then we'll take, yeah, like I said, the Wizard's Familiar, the pig, and purchase this spinning gold. Then we'll roll, and we've got all 3 of the 3-drop animals here to potentially try to put some work in on. And I also have a bunch of ranged units, so I'm just like debating, okay, maybe we go ranged first, then we go stag, and then we go either donkey or pig in the back line. I could really see going either way with this. I could see putting in the pig in the last second because it's not like we are buffing this donkey with the stag. We're just playing it as a 3/7. So 3/7 compared to a 4/7, which the pig would be. Could definitely see playing the pig there, but hopefully we are just a little bit carried by the Wizard's Familiar, but Pan could have absolutely anything at this point. They could have a weaker board than us. They could have a stronger board than us. They're likely to be doing a lot of the same things that we're doing because Pan needs to play Hatball. But Pan doesn't need to be forcing these Hatball units this early, whereas we are a little bit more incentivized to be forcing the Wizard's Familiar early as a Wonder Waddle. So they could still certainly be looking for treasures, and then we play up against them, and it is actually my friend Hedger. So we are going to be playing against Hedger. I got them into Storybook Brawl, and I'll take them out of it. Now, I got them into Storybook Brawl, and they also play in the Questing League with us. So pretty sweet to see them in this game, and we are going to get the win, and we're also going to take some pig money from them. So thank you very much for that, Hedger. This is, what do you call it, paid actors throwing here for me. Then we see an interesting decision point here, trying to figure out if I want the copycat, but Wonder Waddle with all of this set up, I think that we've got a decent chance to hit Hatball this turn. So I'm just going to roll. I will take the Blind Mouse, and then we are going to look for Hatball. I grab Spellweaver, and off the Spellweaver triple, I actually find the Merlin's Hat. And with all of this other stuff going on, I think that it is worth trying to go for Hatball now rather than the treasure map. So we go for that, and then we pick up a donkey, and this donkey does not have anything good for us. I can't even use these treasures. We could pick up a treasure just to thin the herd, thin the pool out a little bit, but there's really nothing that this has going for us here. I am going to cast a free Princess Crown. I forget what that spell is called, but just to grow our board by a little bit more. And I think I'm going to have the stag pumping the donkey. This way we can make use of all of our units on the board. Play a full 7. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty strong. 40 health here and 7 to go. I am going to make a small change and backline the Sure Shot because it's a little bit bigger. I don't actually know which move is the best here. I could see either way. Playing up against Family's Instinct, potentially another former Pokemon Go player, and the stag is going to get in there, so a bunch of stats being redistributed, and we are going to take out their Sure Shot with ours, and then Donkey's going to take a hit, and we might be gifting them some gold here with the prized pig, but looks like we're just going to gift them gold on the front side, and Sherwood Sure Shot will surely be enough to find us another win. So there we go, thanks to that +7/+7, of course. And we actually break 2 of my opponent's treasures. That's really funny. They get to keep the ball. I'm sure that they're happy enough to keep the ball as Potion Master, but really funny that we break 2 of their other treasures here. So again, rolling for stag, rolling for pig. We find the pig. So what do we get here? Well, at this point, I do think we have to take a treasure map. That seems pretty straightforward. And honestly, I think we go for the end here now as well. Now that we have the treasure map, it means that we're not going to be able to find ball with our next treasure, so we probably just want to try to transition into something else for the late game. The hat and casting all these spells and the Wizard's Familiar have done us well to get us to this point, but I think we want to start transitioning now. That is the game. I don't think that we want this Spell Weaver. We'd have to sell tiny for it. I mean, it's certainly worth considering, but I don't think we want to do so. So I'm just going to roll here once or twice more, and then we'll move on to the next one. There's some cute things in this shop, but like I said, I mean, the biggest pickups right now are Nyan Sea Terror and then 3 Blind Mice. We'll take a tier 6 treasure as well, but if we could find some Nyan Sea treasures, turn this treasure map into a tier 7 treasure, that would be really, really strong. So the Choop's going to get in there, but our stag is going to get to attack. Let's see, is that going to still be enough to carry us? It feels like that's going to fall off at some point. My opponent has a big stag attack here, though. Let's see, the donkey is now smaller than almost everything my opponent had, so we're going to take our first loss here, go down to 33, and try to figure out what we can do. We do get to do something nice with this Potion of Heroism. I think I called that Potion of Strength in a recent video, but Potion of Heroism. Now we could grab a tier 5 treasure. I don't really love that. So I think we are going to skip this stag and again just look for 3 Blind Mice or Nyan Sea Terror. That is the idea here. A little bit of shop lag, but that's fine. Could go for a free roll. No, let's just keep on actually rolling. Not super impressed by either of these spells, but I am impressed by a 3 Blind Mice. It's going to give us a tier 6 treasure. And Pandora's Box gives us a tier 7 treasure here. So I'm happy enough to take that. And then I think we'll cast this Trash Can, cast this Turkish Delight. That'll make us tier 6 next turn with a tier 7 treasure. The math worked out that we didn't have to do it if we were to get like Holy Grail or something, because Holy Grail takes another full turn cycle to activate. But this is sweet. We're getting a tier 7 treasure next turn. We're hitting level 6 next turn. We can see the rest of the lobby. It's a little bit tough to see, but we've gained 2 XP this game, so we're probably decently ahead of some of our opponents. We'll take a look on the Horde Dragon here now to see how much XP they have gained. We're certainly ahead of Hedger playing the pants there. But Horde Dragon actually has, once this loads, 1 XP less than us. So they have gained 1 XP over the course of the game, and that is going to make it so that we are only just a little bit ahead here. But Sark on the donkey is really, really good for us, so that is sweet. Gives us a monster book, which doesn't actually do anything for us, but it's cool. It's cute. The donkey then does go down to the the attacking into the Queen of Hearts, though, there. And then we go down to the Queen of Hearts. They were just a little bit too big. And our level 7 treasure is Excalibur. So now we can do whatever we want. We can play dwarves. Here's a Lordy and a Fanny. It's honestly not the craziest thing in the world here to just go into dwarves. But we're at 27 health. I think that we're strong enough. I think that, you guessed it, we should be looking for Copycat Good Boy. So we roll, we find a Copycat. I like this. I almost like enough to just cast the spell onto the Copycat here and allow it to survive for a little bit longer. I will need to find a Last Breath unit to make work with this Copycat. I don't hate the Wombats in Disguise plus the Gigantify, like I said, but I think we can do better. We're not XP up on this APOC. This APOC also hit 6 on this turn, but this looks like a good turn. Oh, wow, I go for Monster Book? Oh, interesting. Okay, so I go for Monster Book here to scale my spell casting units, but awkwardly that's not going to give us enough gold to cast this Gigantify. I suppose I could sell the Wizard's Familiar and the Stag to go on this Gigantify, but we're just going to work with the Copycat here. So we're going to get to cast 4 spells. That's a lot. Bam, that's 1 spell. Bam, that's another spell. Lightning Bolt, and then the Falling Stars. So we actually do a decent amount with that, and the Falling Stars hits our donkey, so that also gives us a free unit. So honestly, pretty good stuff here altogether. This Echo Wood is going to be a little bit to deal with, which is a little bit awkward. Wow, and Jormungand survives with 1 HP. That's really awkward, but we're going to have enough health here to beat up on the APOC here, or at least not die to it, right? Then we see another Copycat, and this is looking pretty strong for a Copycat. Good Boy Pivot. We will now just look for Good Boys. Sure, I'll take a free healing potion. It grows my team a little bit as well. Yeah, still interesting here that we've got Copycat, Monster Book, and we're just casting all of these spells here. Potion of Heroism onto the Friendly Spirit. Really just looking for Good Boy, but I suppose I would take... Yeah, no real reason for that. I suppose I would take a... totally forgot what I was going with there. Huh. Maybe I was just going to say another Friendly Spirit. I really don't remember. I have no clue what I was just talking about. This is an interesting decision point because I can turn Monster Book into an upgraded 4 or an upgraded 6. I was going to say this is when Monster Book was a 5, not when it was a 4. Sorry, just getting a little bit mind flooded. I had a thought in the back of my mind, and sometimes when you do that, it means that you're unable to concentrate on the current commentary. But what I was thinking of saying is that Excalibur is actually pretty weird with Wonder Waddle because it means that we no longer get to use the Wonder Waddle's hero power. It's not looking like too big of a deal here as we're just like super powerful and we're trying to pivot. We don't really need more treasures. We just need some good units. But it is really interesting to note here that, the Wonder Waddle hero power is basically done. We are up against Hedger here again. At this point, I think that I have DM'd Hedger and just said, hey, we play in the same game right now. That's always fun to... I do that if I see a name that I recognize of like a streamer or something like that. But we find the Good Boy. So now we've got upgraded Copycat, upgraded Good Boy. This is really, really fantastic and a huge power spike on the turn where we have to battle against Hedger. There's an interesting move here where we could try to grab a Cupid and throw that in the back line. And it does look like that is what I am priming up to do. Oh, I also could just be priming up to put in 2 more good units. That's really interesting. Either way, that costs 5. I can either buy 2 donkeys for 5 or 2... Oh, I'm going to buy the donkey and the Cupid, selling off everything else. Okay, I like that. That seems sweet too. Cast an Earthquake, even though we no longer have units that are scaling from our spells. I don't see that this Earthquake working. There's probably more chances that an Earthquake like this backfires, right? But maybe it like kills a baby bear or something like that. Against Pants, it's pretty weird, but it's not really going to do anything. We are going to get the first attack here with Copycat. Let's see, will we get the second attack with Copycat? We will not. But we will have these big donkeys, which are not going to do anything either because my opponent's front line is just too large. However, Cupid also being really large. Let's see if this hits the Friendly Spirit. Yeah, that was a really good hit for us. So that hit the Friendly Spirit, so that is going to allow us to beat Hedger, hit them for 9, down to 13, and now we can just continue to look for more Copycats and Good Boys. We have the bye this turn. We are up against the Ghost. I will purchase another Copycat, and now if we find a Good Boy, this comp is basically complete. I mean, how can I not? How can I not just grab another Copycat here? It is impossible, basically, to get a crown at this point, but it would be so sweet. The only way that we can get a crown is by Cinderella. We did not Cinderella this game. We should lock for the golden chicken. But, yeah, as like, the only other thing I guess we could do is after we get the Good Boy, get a Hercules, toss the Excalibur, and then start rolling for 2-cost treasures and trying to find a crown, which is actually a fine strategy on Wonder Waddle specifically. I've talked about the pitfalls of that in previous videos, but when you're Wonder Waddling, it only costs you 2 units to upgrade and get that treasure, so winds up being a lot easier. You can see a lot of the units that we just sold in this shop as well. Oh, and here's the Cinderella. It's potentially worth it to try to pick up the Cinderella here. It only costs 2. We'll be able to get that 2 back when we skip. I think I will wind up picking up the Cinderella here, but honestly, I don't really remember that specific part of the game. It feels cheeky enough that I'd want to do it, so we'll see if I am able to do so. At the same time, I kind of just want to use all of my gold to keep rolling for Good Boys. That is how we are going to get stronger and actually make some more magic happen here. As you can see, like, this Ghost is actually doing a decent amount of work against us here. We do have to find a little bit more scaling. I mean, we're going to be okay. We're not going to lose any of these combats, but still, I mean, things getting pretty close. Only having 2 units left, it means that, for instance, like, we wouldn't kill Horde Dragon or Pants if we were to play against them. So I think for that reason, I will just buy, sell Golden Chicken. Okay, no, I do go for the Cinderella. Yeah, too hard to pass up there. And then we will start rolling for some more Good Boys. Not sure what I'm looking at exactly in this shop, but we can keep rolling. Lance is kind of interesting. It would trigger. We would get a tier 5 treasure. I could maybe see that. I think that that's worth it over the donkey. 5 gold to grab a tier 5 treasure. I could also, yeah, this is fair too. I could not play the second Copycat. That is also totally reasonable. Go for Genie's Wish. Okay, yeah, that is the way that we're going to get this Cinderella moving forward here, is just Genie's Wishing it. So now if I find a Genie's Wish next turn, I get a tier 2 treasure. A little bit silly, a little bit cheeky. But let's see. Rolling for Good Boys. There's the other Genie's Wish. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to lock for it. I really shouldn't. But I think I do. Yeah, let's lock for this Genie's Wish. We'll get a tier 5 treasure and a tier 2 treasure next turn. I don't quite want to throw away my Power Orb. Oh, I actually changed my mind at the last second. And that winds up being not super great because then I don't get to make full use of my time on the clock with that. But Medusa misses, so that's great for us. It doesn't hit Lance, nor does it hit either of our Copycats, so we are getting a tier 5 treasure here. Copycat is going to go down, but Lance is going to survive and be able to trade off with the Sea Terror, and then Good Boy is going to get in there. My opponent with Mimic Chest Mittens. Mittens Mimic. It's hard to say that because I'm like thinking of Mirror too at the same time. But that is going to be enough to take out our Good Boy, which is a ton of stats elsewhere, and I think will be enough to allow us to win the combat and kill the Horde Dragon as well. Horde Dragon now down to 8. Somebody else is doing probably I guess it was Hedger's. I guess Hedger dealt a few damage to the Horde Dragon there, so that way we can now kill them. Because like I said, we're only hitting people for 12 here. Monkey's Paw seems like it would be really good. That is a bunch of stats. We will have to throw away one of our units, but it looks pretty good. At the same time, I don't know, because we've got another good boy. How do we fit everything? So before I take this Monkey's Paw, I'm just really quickly figuring out how I'm going to make all of this stuff fit, and I can't. I can't make it all fit. I've got 4 copycats right now. I don't have the room for all of this stuff to mess around with. So I am actually just going to wind up frontlining a Cupid. No, I'm not going to play it at all. Yeah, let's Hugify just to spend some of our gold here. It's not going to give us Cinderella this turn. We'll roll a little bit more for a few more good boys. There is a Mixawazzle there rolling past. But yeah, we have too many units here to play a unit down. So we're just going to go for this. My opponent is going to Medusa us, but we just have so many copycats that we are going to just have a huge presence on this board here. We trade with Storm King, and now we're just looking huge. 400 attack still on this good boy. It is going to die, but that's going to give 400 additional attack everywhere else. And we're going to hit Hedger for 12. Down to 11, though. As you see, they were able to gain some additional health here, and we just need one more combat like that, so should be okay. Blessing of Athena, +1/+1 permanently. This seems like it could be really good. If we get a sweet treasure here, we get the Hermes Boots. So the Hermes Boots will throw away our Merlin's Hat. We don't need that anymore. We're not casting any more treasures here for the rest of the game. This looks pretty cheeky to grab more friendly spirits, but unfortunately it's not going to be good enough here. But I think that these Hermes Boots alongside triple copycat, double good boy is going to be quite fantastic here. I do have to consider if I actually want to play this Lancelot or not. I would definitely be dreaming here if I had not already done what I'd done, but I think that we are in a great position nonetheless. Fairy Godmother seems like it could be pretty cool. Are we gonna sell out for Fairy Godmother? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so Fairy Godmother is now in. We're gonna get our first attack. Then Hedger is going to transform one of our remaining units with Medusa, and then we're going to get a second copycat attack. So that is really all that matters. Here goes the first one. Bam. Bam. That's a lot of stats. They hit the Godmother, so that is crazy good for us. It doesn't really matter because our third copycat never gets to attack in this scenario, but this does bring us up into the 1000s for all of our remaining units. And as long as none of these units die, we've got to win, and that does look like it is going to be the case. So that is a first place finish there, thanks to the Hermes Boots. Those definitely could have been helpful. We're able to take Hedger out and find a win. So there you go. There is Copy Boy Excalibur, a fully upgraded board, and looking pretty strong there. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.